Let's go through the process of running the Terraform module that provides StreamNative access to your cloud environment so that they can then deploy resources like the Kubernetes cluster, as well as provisioning the Pulsar cluster. Here I have the documentation for BYOC and how to provide that access. If I scroll down here, there's going to be some prerequisites. If you're new to Terraform, the Getting Started tutorial, but I'm going to go through some of the Terraform directions of how to install that. And you need to create an org. To show you what that looks like, here's an example in StreamNative.io. Here's your org namespace. That's the org that we're going to need. If you don't have an org, you can always go to Organizations, Create Organization. We don't want this organization name. We want the namespace version. So it's going to be this characters here that I have. I'm going to be putting this into the training organization. Going back to the documentation, we have that org. Next, I'm going to go ahead and install Terraform. Let me do this all through IntelliJ. I'm going to use an empty project just so I have access to text files and the terminal. Here we are in IntelliJ. I went to New Project, but I'm going to create an empty project, and we'll call it BYOC Permissions. And I'll say Create. Now that we have our project, I'm going to go ahead and open up Terminal. Here's where you can install Terraform. You can use a regular terminal as well. I'm here on a Mac, so I'm going to use brew. Here are the directions for HashiCorp for the different operating systems. If I do brew tap HashiCorp tap and then brew install HashiCorp tap Terraform, that it should install Terraform for me. Once Terraform is installed, I can always do Terraform, and you should see that help menu come up for Terraform. Going back to the documentation, we want to copy this file in a new main.tf file. We want to copy this code. Go ahead and hit the copy button here. And once we copy that, we'll place the SN.org into this section right here, the external ID, and then we'll do a Terraform init. So I'll create that new file, main.tf. I'll paste in my code here. Here I've already populated it with the external ID. Here I've pasted in my code. I've already populated the external ID. I'll run a Terraform init while I'm inside of that folder here where I've got the main.tf file. Before we can actually apply the Terraform module into your AWS account, we haven't provided Terraform any permissions into AWS. You'll need to use an account that has IAM full access permissions, and then we can get to the access key, secret access key, and region out of AWS and set those as environment variables. Here I'm going to paste in 4 items. I have the AWS region, the AWS access key ID, and the AWS secret access key, as well as the AWS session token. Using these 4, those environment variables will get set. And then if I do a Terraform apply, it's going to reach out to my AWS server, see what needs to be applied, and if I enter yes, it's going to go ahead and make those resources, or basically create the policies and the required permissions for the StreamNative API server to come in and make the changes to your AWS account to deploy BYOC. So nothing has been deployed yet from StreamNative. We've just created the required permissions.